Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. You made it. Some people inherently are getting happy already. It's Thursday, but step in. Come into my world here. This is FWD Movement Daily number 2. I'm all kinds of things. I'm humbled. I'm excited. I'm inspired by you, by the messages that I get. As I warm up here, I just want to ask you a question. Did you reflect on the question yesterday? Did you, sit down and uncover what might be holding you back from the next steps for you? It's good to get information, like I said yesterday, but I think there's power when we reflect on things and we sit back and we ask ourselves the questions. And we say, what is it that's holding me back? Is there a blind spot that I don't know about? Maybe I can have a conversation with a friend and ask what that blind spot is. And really start to uncover it. And hopefully you saw the picture of the elephant. I told the story of the elephant yesterday. And I want to credit my friend Alicia Swans for finding that photo. And she actually created that for me. So a really cool photo with the elephant to piggyback on the story that an elephant can basically break that stake right out of the ground. And has an immense power, kind of like you. And I want you to reflect on that story if you haven't already. But today, I wanted to, as I was reflecting on today, and I have so many topics to pull from, but when I get ready for these things, I'm always asking what's going to serve the most? What's going to help people at the highest level? What's going to change things up? It's a little early, I think. It's 7:07 now. People are getting up, getting into their day maybe, but step in. Feel free to share this with somebody in your circle. And let's see what can show up today. Let's see what we can bring up. Let's see what changes we can make. And I'm just inviting some people in. So, hello, Mario. Hey, Conchetta. Good morning to you. I am excited today. I have a really good topic today. But I want to ask you, did you reflect on yesterday and the question of is there something holding you back? Do you have a blind spot? Do you feel stuck? And I also want to jump into today's topic, the 3 things that get people to move forward. What are 3 things that really get people to move forward? What are they? What causes people to reach greatness? What causes people to transcend what we think is impossible? What gets people to do things that they never thought was possible for them? And as you're listening to me, I want to ask you for yourself, is there something that you thought was impossible in your life? Is there something that you thought was impossible that you transcended? Hey, Jeff, good morning. I think it's good morning, right, for you? Is there something in your life that you look back on that was once impossible, but now is a reality? Good morning, everyone. Step in. Step in. This is number 2 out of 100. I'm going to run this 100 days. And if you step in here, I want you to ask, what can you get from this? What can you grab from this? What is your intention between now and the end of the year? What is your outcome? What is your personal movement of freedom for you? Maybe you are at a stage in life where it's time for something new. Maybe you're at a time where the thing that you aspired for is everyday life for you now, but it's not fulfilling you anymore. You feel like there's something more. So let me jump into the topic. Please feel free to share this at will. And let me see if I can invite some other people here. And we'll get the party going. I may have to adjust the time. This is a little early for people, I think. For some people here on the East Coast, in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, it's just after 7 a.m. We're getting the cobwebs out. But let me jump into the topic because I want to get to the point for you that are listening. And we can always look at the playback and share the playback. But I honestly want you to open up. I want you, if you clicked on this video, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching the playback, like really step in and ask yourself, what can you get from this? What is your intention? What is your outcome between now and the end of the year? What is your personal movement of freedom? You know, what do you need to get free from? Are you present enough in your world? Do you feel stuck and you don't know what to do next? We're going to uncover all these things. We're going to have fun doing it. We're going to enjoy the process. I'm in this with you. We're going to do it for the next roughly 100 days. I'm going to do 100 episodes. This is number 2 out of 100. And by the way, if you have a topic that you would like me to speak on, send me a personal message because I'm thinking about the idea of maybe opening up Fridays or something like that where it's question and answer. And maybe I'm going to bring on some special guests too. And I have some exciting news that I'm going to give you at the end. The 3 things that really get people to move. And I'm really interested in the 3rd one. The first 2 are kind of lower level. They work, and they worked for me. But the first one is our desire to avoid pain. Tony Robbins made this very popular in his work. He's always talking about people do more to avoid pain than they do to gain the second key thing, which is gain pleasure. We seem to do more to want to avoid pain than we do to gain pleasure. If somebody took, if you had $500 missing out of your check, you'd be knocking on someone's door and you would want that money back. But if somebody said, hey, you can make 500, but you had to do this work, you'd probably be more motivated to go find out what was lost than you would to do what was gained. But here's the thing about this, and I can tell you, like my personal story, I was avoiding pain, and I talked about it yesterday, is the not feeling good enough. And my pain was growing up where we had to get subsidy from the government. My pain was knowing as a young boy that we had subsidy from the government. We were on food stamps, and I tell in my live, when I speak live, that although we had food most of the time, there were some times where we didn't have food, but most of the time we had food. But growing up with food stamps and subsidy from the government, and feeling like that was just pain for me, and it was also a blind spot that drove me kind of hand in hand with it. It helped feed the, I'm not good enough because I don't have what everybody else has. But at the same time, the paradox is that I was driven to avoid that pain as I grew up into adulthood. And I battled my own demons, my own things, and I went the long road. But I'm here, and I'm in front of you right now. And I'm pouring out my heart because I have such a heart to help people overcome their BS, because I had BS. I had these things that were stuck in my craw and were blind spots for me, but I had this pain that ultimately increased that I wanted to avoid. I never wanted to be in a situation where I was on subsidy from the government or I was on food stamps and I was going to work as hard as I needed to. And I had a reputation for, I don't have a reputation for being the smartest person, but I have a reputation for working extremely hard. And I believe that is a great tool. Working hard is something that is inevitable, but what I learned is to work smarter. Because when you work really smart, you don't have to work as hard. You still need to work hard, but hard work can overcome the things that you lack. And here I digress, but the one is avoid pain. We want to avoid pain. We will do everything to avoid pain. That's what really gets people to move. But here's the thing, if you don't have enough pain, you're not going to change. Hey Jordan, good morning. Thank you. Yes. I'll give a little commercial. This suit is made by Rocky Chugani out of California. It's a beautiful suit, and I wear it occasionally. Most of the time you see me in running gear, but I do have suits. I like to be comfortable and practical, but when you don't have enough pain, you won't change. I know, it's kind of like, it's like the dog who's sitting on a nail, and the dog's crying, and dog's moaning, and the neighbor says, "What's wrong with your dog?" He says, "Well, he's sitting on a nail, like a little nail coming out of the porch, right?" And he says, "Why doesn't he move?" And the owner says, "Well, I guess he's not in enough pain. When he's in enough pain, he'll get up and move." Can you relate to that? Maybe you're not in enough pain to make that change. But I got some excitement. We're gonna move this up, because the next thing is to gain pleasure. If you're an achiever, I want to get that reward, I want to make that money, and we can get into that drive, and we can get into that churn and burn, and I want to go out there and I want to achieve, and I'm going to get the rewards, I'm going to get the trophies, I'm going to build the bridge, I'm going to design the blueprint, I'm going to create the painting. You know, the pleasure of finishing, you know, that pleasure, there's an actual endorphin rush when you complete something. So if you're planning your day and you got your to-do list, when you actually check off things off your to-do list, there's an endorphin rush. But here's the thing. This is where it gets really exciting. And this is where it got really exciting for me, and this is where my life changed, and this is why I'm in front of you now. Number 3, what really, really gets people to move forward is purpose. Because these are all reasons, right? A reason is I want to avoid pain. 2 is I want to gain pleasure. But number 3, a purpose that's bigger than you. And see, here's the paradox for me, right? So, pre-free will dream, I was believing that I'm not good enough, I need to fix it, I need to achieve a certain level. Something's missing. So I'm always operating from a level here, trying to get here, realizing that that's a false blueprint, a false philosophy. But now it's about a purpose bigger than me. And when you can tap into a purpose bigger than yourself, you know what happens? You get over yourself. The surest way to contribute to others is to get over yourself, is to get over what other people are going to think about you. So to have an intense purpose, the intense purpose is what causes Rosa Parks to not move her seat on the bus in an act of defiance. The purpose that no matter what the consequences were, Rosa Parks did not move her seat. It's the purpose that keeps the soldiers at Bastogne in World War II in the Battle of the Bulge, when all odds were against them, freezing cold weather, bombing by the Germans 24/7, and they stuck, and they stayed, and the purpose of freedom to overcome evil. It's the purpose that causes a guy like Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl when all odds are against him, because he has such a high purpose of what he wants his career and life to be. So I'm going to ask you right now, what purpose, if you relate to somebody, give me a person. I just gave you 3, Rosa Parks, and I just grabbed these at complete random. The soldiers at the Battle of the Bulge, Tom Brady, and I'll go to the, I'm in Philadelphia, the thing that causes Thomas Jefferson to forge a document. Who is it for you? Is there a person that you think of and you say, man, that's purpose, like that person had purpose. They had drive, something